Papayama Garu was the name of Sri Nannagaru's grandmother or father's mother. Sri Nannagaru used to say, "Today if you see any little devotion here, it is because of Papayama Garu's blood flowing within me." When Papayama Garu lost her husband as well as her young son, she sent off her sorrowful daughter-in-law, Sri Nannagaru's mother, Rajayama Garu, along with her children to Kamara, the birthplace of Rajayama Garu. Papayama Garu left for her birthplace, Muramala. Papayama Garu was fond of the tulsi tree grown in a pot. When separated from her daughter-in-law and grandsons, she sat near the tulsi tree and cried, saying, "What is this? Our family has no male support. All of us are getting separated and will live in different corners. Will there be days when this Arugu, the platform on the front side of Nannagaru's house, will be filled with people? Will this house ever become an abode for feeding people?" Due to Papayama Garu's merit, innumerable devotees experienced eternal peace on the Arugu and ate the prasadam at Sri Nannagaru's house.
Papayama Garu was very fond of Sri Nannagaru. She always wanted to ask her daughter-in-law, "Why don't you send my elder grandson, Sri Nannagaru, to me so I can care for him?" However, Papayama Garu felt that it was not proper on her part to separate her daughter-in-law from her elder son too, as her daughter-in-law was already sorrowful due to her husband's death. When her nephews and nieces casually said, "We are taking care of you, so your assets should belong to us after your death," Papayama Garu used to fight back, saying, "After my death, my assets will belong to my grandsons only." Such was Papayama Garu's liking for her grandsons. Papayama Garu was always found near the tulsi tree whenever any relatives visited her. Papayama Garu lived for only 2 to 3 years after reaching Muramala.
When Nannagaru reached a place near Muramala to bless with his spiritual discourse, a devotee brought an elderly lady and introduced her to Sri Nannagaru, saying, "She is the friend of Papayama Garu, who came from Muramala." Then Nannagaru immediately stood up, approached that elderly lady, and brought her onto the stage. Sri Nannagaru honored her and said, "Are you the friend of Papayama Garu? How lucky you were to get a chance to live with her. What a good fortune you had in getting a chance to live with Papayama Garu." So Sri Nannagaru felt that Papayama Garu herself came as that lady. He honored her by making her sit beside him throughout the time he delivered the speech. Sri Nannagaru's utmost reverence for Papayama Garu was revealed in how he treated this elderly lady.
Panduva Granny embodied service, equanimity, and devotion. Her real name was Surama Garu, but everyone addressed her as the Granny of Panduva village. Her husband had 5 brothers. He was as righteous as Dharmaraja amongst the Pandavas. After his death due to cancer, Surama Garu took over the responsibility of her 8 daughters and 2 sons. If any of her relatives, like daughters or daughters-in-law or granddaughters or sisters' children, had to undergo any surgery or delivered a baby, Surama Garu ran to their rescue and served as their attendant. She quickly did all the shabby, lowly, and mean day-to-day tasks that even their sisters or mothers hesitated to do. Such was her composure. Once she started from home, it took her over a month to return. As she became fully ripened in Krishna's devotion, she got an intense yearning to know about awareness. She was habituated neither to any book reading nor listening to any spiritual discourses. Being pure at heart, she automatically yearned to know what is meant by awareness. She visited the Swamiji of Kalahasti and asked him, "What is meant by awareness?" Swamiji laughed aloud, called her elderly mother, placed some fruits in her hands, and sent her back.
Out of spiritual curiosity, Surama Garu also spent a few months in an ashram. But she could not get a proper answer anywhere. As her youngest son lived in Kamara village, she used to visit Kamara. Once, when Sri Nannagaru visited Kamara, a devotee from Kapavaram introduced Surama Garu to Sri Nannagaru. Immediately upon seeing her, Nannagaru said, "Mother, your mind is as pure as a jasmine flower." Finally, she got an answer to the question that had been troubling her for long. She experienced awareness in the holy presence of Sri Nannagaru. From then onwards, she remained in silence, abiding in the self. She remained motionless like a statue for hours together. If anyone requested her to preach something, she said, "The heart has to get emptied. There is nothing else to be done." Sometimes she read the book, The Call of the Holy Hill. She always said, "Nannagaru is a great Mahatma." Thus contemplating upon Nannagaru, she saluted him again and again.
Sri Nannagaru addressed Surama Garu as Amma or Mother, and Surama Garu, in turn, called Nannagaru as Babu or Son. Sometimes Surama Garu's daughter took her to Sri Nannagaru. Usually, Nannagaru hardly touched any women devotees. But it was different with Surama Garu. Her relationship with Nannagaru was like a mother-son relationship. Even Surama Garu had the spiritual qualification to address Nannagaru as Babu or son. That's why Nannagaru once made her sit before him, placed her hand on his head, caught hold of her cheeks with his hands, and said, "The essence of bliss is understood only after seeing the granny of Panduva." Whenever Surama Garu visited Jinuru, Sri Nannagaru's consort fed her very lovingly before she left. Surama Garu visited Jinuru in this manner twice or thrice. One day, Sri Nannagaru said, "You can stop coming to Jinuru. I will visit you whenever I come to your area."
Surama Garu was a blessed soul who completely surrendered herself to Sadguru Sri Nannagaru. Once Surama Garu asked Nannagaru, "In my pilgrimages with my husband, I might have visited Arunachala. I don't remember whether I visited Arunachala or not. Do you think I need to visit Arunachala once, or I don't need it? Whatever you say, I will abide by it." Then Sri Nannagaru said, "Mother, you don't need to visit Arunachala."
Due to some compulsions, Surama Garu had to stay with her daughter, not her son. She felt guilty about staying with her daughter and struggled in this regard. Once, she conveyed this struggle to Sri Nannagaru. Sri Nannagaru replied, "Don't ever get that thought of staying with daughter and not with son again. Even a single thought can bring you a birth. As soon as Nannagaru said these words, Suramagaru stopped thinking about it. Thus whatever problem she faced, she conveyed it to Nannagaru, took his advice, and got relieved.
Suramagaru never interfered in others' affairs. She silently enjoyed the bliss. Some devotees recognized her state of silence, acknowledged her as a Gyani, and sat with her for hours together, holding her hand. Sometimes Suramagaru did not even take food as she remained blissful in Sri Nannagaru's contemplation. Like Nannagaru, Suramagaru also ate only sattvic food. She ate breakfast before 10 in the morning and again ate dinner at 5 in the evening. She drank coffee in the afternoon. If Nannagaru gave up tamarind rice, she also stopped eating the same. Thus Suramagaru imbibed the same food habits of Sri Nannagaru. Suramagaru stayed at Mahadevapatnam in her last days. As per his promise, Sri Nannagaru visited her whenever he came to that area. Once, Sri Nannagaru sent a message to Suramagaru that he would visit her on a particular Saturday. However, that Saturday was the day when Suramagaru would be cremated. The day before the Saturday when Nannagaru was to visit Suramagaru, she suffered from a massive heart attack. In her entire life, Suramagaru never visited any hospital to get any medical treatment. Likewise, she did not go to any hospital even when she had a heart attack. She was aware that Sri Nannagaru would be visiting her the next day. She understood that she might not survive till Nannagaru's arrival. So she said, "This body will not be alive till Nannagaru's arrival," and she passed away on that Friday night. Sri Nannagaru arrived the next day morning. He saluted Suramagaru, asked someone to hold his towel, and said, "Let me carry Suramagaru on my shoulders, at least for a short distance." Having carried Suramagaru's wooden hearse 30 feet from her house, Nannagaru returned and spoke about Suramagaru for a while. Sri Nannagaru said, "Suramagaru has no more birth. Even if she takes birth, she will come as a preacher."